Alright guys, this is a little bit more mature video because the last one might have come across as a bit crude, but I just wanted to cover the topic again. That is, should video games be boycotted or banned? As we have seen, it's been in the news a little bit recently, so I just want to go over a few reasons why they can't be banned and boycotted. So it starts off with people tend to, especially these days, I feel personally that people get offended easily. Don't worry, I'm not gonna just be like everyone gets offended. I'm gonna have a few points. If you hear me out, hear me out. If you don't want to listen to it, go. I am not the best at talking. Violence in video games is normally the thing that can trigger a lot of these boycotts or bans. As we saw with the active shooter game, they had a petition and a lot of people signed that. Like, I don't know if these people were, as I would call, gamers, because I know a lot of gamers, and a lot of gamers, they tend not to be as offended or care as much, especially, like, gamers, a lot of them like to consider themselves as a group. Like, I know a lot of people who are proud to be a gamer, and I don't know who signed this. I could be totally wrong. It could be all gamers. But as far as I'm aware, it's not. Because I'm just going to get into a few examples of popular games that aren't banned on Steam and that Valve still sell. We're going to jump right in with GTA. GTA, in my opinion, is a lot worse than this. The realism is a lot higher. You can kill cops in this game. You can kill unarmed civilians. It's a lot more violent. Being more of a sandbox, you can do a lot more, but you could argue that it's down to your own personal preference and only psychopaths would kill people. But how many people do you honestly see going out, buying a car in GTA, driving to the speed limit, and never doing any of the missions? Well, you have to steal a car at the beginning anyway, and you don't see me going out and stealing sports cars, joyriding them and selling them. I don't even drive. But I could still joyride, that'd be fun, right? Valve and Steam, should I say, are actually still selling Postal 2. I think Postal 2 is still banned in New Zealand or Australia. This is a game that allows you to urinate in people's mouths until they throw up. It also has a lot of racism. Well, when I say racism, I just mean like Islamophobia, general stuff like that. There's a few missions that are homophobic, maybe. There's animal cruelty, like using a cat as a silencer for a gun. Let's just jump. CSGO, okay. CSGO, one of Steam's biggest selling games ever. Oh, I want to play as a terrorist. Oh, I can do that. I'm gonna go out and be a terrorist. I'm gonna bomb B-site at my local Walmart or whatever, wherever you're from. I used Walmart because most people understand what that means. Yeah, I'm gonna go and bomb Walmart now because that's what I did in this video game that I played. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of hours in Counter-Strike, and you don't see me going to the shop and buying a P90 and trying to detonate a bomb or taking hostages in an office. Valve, if you're really against violence, maybe you should remove the guns and terrorists from Counter-Strike. Ooh. Also, Call of Duty. I forget exactly what Call of Duty is, but there was a very controversial mission in that, where at the beginning you don't have to shoot them, you can shoot above them. But a lot of people didn't realize that, and a lot of people ended up shooting, like, unarmed civilians in an airport, and as I said, this is a lot more realistic. You can even take games like The Sims, like, you can lock people in a room in The Sims and catch them on fire, like, okay, or you can starve people in The Sims, like, that is violence, and I am triggered. Please ban Sims, EA. That game really offends me. That's a few of my points. You don't see all these professional Counter-Strike players with thousands of hours. None of them are terrorists. None of them are counter-terrorists on the flip side. How many of them do you see joining the army, joining the Navy SEALs, whatever? How many of them, after playing Counter-Strike, thought, wow, I'm really good at killing terrorists. I might just go and find Osama bin Laden. No, none of them did that. That I'm aware of. The Navy SEALs probably played Counter-Strike, like, it's a massive game, but yeah, you get my point there. another reason that is controversial, but this is one of the ways that I feel like violence in video games is a bit more justifiable, is those people slash pixels slash code would have never existed if I didn't launch the game. It's not real. Nothing in the sandbox slash game would have existed until I downloaded a string of code, put it onto my computer, booted the game up, processed the code through my GPU and projected it as a 3D rendering on a 2D screen. I don't know how stuff works, okay? Like, soon they're gonna be banning these little like plastic soldier toys that kids get. Because kids now, they're gonna want to start a private militia and go and kill the dinosaur toys. Oh no. Yeah. And there's another point that people like to bring up, and that is desensitization to real life violence. Yeah. If you've played video games, you're probably still gonna be scared if you see someone in real life die. If you see an actual tragedy, you won't be able to hide from it. You can't hide from all of the evils of the world. I'm not saying video games will not desensitize you to real life violence. I don't understand that point that they say it maybe if like a baby is shown GTA its whole life and it sees someone on the street, I don't know, maybe that's an edge case, but most people who are playing these games, as long as they're following the age certificate that the game's put on it, they have the right mental state to understand. There's also some very famous cases of, I feel like this ties in with video games, like art and photography. Take the photographer guy who made money off of the Starving Child and Vulture, what was his name? John Carter, Kevin Carter, something like that. Like, that is real suffering. That wasn't made up. If anything, that's gonna desensitize you more. Because you're exposed to real life. Yeah, and a lot of people don't like to be exposed to real life. They're happy living in their own little bubble, in their own world. But it's sad. Like, life isn't perfect. You can try and make it as close to perfect as you want. And I guess that's why people play video games. Like, it's a way to escape real life. To try and give yourself a bit of power. You can, in some games, you can be God, like in Sim City, or you can be the hero, you can be the villain. It's anything you want to do. It just gives you access to that creativeness, I guess. I'm getting a bit confused on my words because I am not the best at talking off the top of my head. Who doesn't like pretending to be a Spartan warrior from Halo, jumping around, just being basically invincible with all these cool futuristic guns? Like, it's stupid. Like, if people were really inspired by things they did in real life, how many people do you see hunting black holes? As in, like, I've played No Man's Sky. I don't go out on trying to find galactic traders hunting black holes and claiming planets for myself. I've also played Skyrim, and you don't really see me going around with a longsword shouting people to death. Like, you don't see me trying to ride dragons, making my own axes out of steel that I have mined with my bare hands. No, that's not something I'll do. I play Skyrim to do those things. Even Minecraft, you don't see me running around punching trees. You don't see me walking up to an innocent chicken and punching it to death. Like, I am very much against animal cruelty, but I still played Minecraft. I've punched a chicken in Minecraft. I know the chickens in Minecraft don't feel. They're programmed to look like they feel, but, like, I have the mental state to discern. Is that the word, discern? Real life from Minecraft. I don't know how many of you do. Minecraft might be real life to a lot of you, but it's not to me. And I do understand how video games work. And I understand that it's not real life. So it comes down to people's core values, and I guess their education. If they're educated on the real world and how to behave as a human, and they're taught good morals from their parents, chances are they're going to be able to quickly work out from a very young age that this isn't real. This isn't something achievable. This isn't something that I should do. This is a video game. This was made for my entertainment, not to be recreated. Like, that's fairly simple, right? So, normally with crimes, what happens is a individual is very deprived or suffering in a lot of cases, and it's normally the people who are in the worst situations, normally people who probably cannot afford to play these video games, that end up committing the most crimes. It's also people with mental health problems, but that can also link in with not having a job, not having money, not being able to support yourself. I'm gonna include drug use as mental health, because these people, like, if you have nothing, you have nothing to lose, so you can gain from, as we would say, being a bad person committing a crime. Like, you'd have to be very strong to resist the urge to rob, steal, to do a lot of these things. Like, personally, I can't imagine being placed in a situation where I'm suffering enough, where I feel the only way out is for me to end someone else's existence. I know it got very dark very quickly, but that's just how it goes. And back to the age restriction that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, I'm all for them. Like, if you're 18, chances are you're mentally sound. If you haven't already been picked up by something in the system, yeah, like, chances are if you were gonna do the crime, there's an external stimuli. But reason why people do game. Friendships. I've made a lot of friendships through gaming. One of my best friends I met in real life. I didn't speak to anyone at my university flat share until he was like, oh, you want to play some Xbox? I was like, yeah, let's play some Xbox. We played the whole of Borderlands. That was pretty fun. So yeah, that's how I met my first friend at uni, probably, apart from on my course, which I didn't really like anyone there because they're all idiots. But yeah, and that links into the community aspect. Like I said, gamers like to stick together. Like, it encourages socialization to a lot of these people who, if you play video games, you tend to be a lot more confident than you would be in real life. I find, at least. Because, say someone had, like, quite bad social skills, it's not as hard to jump into a video game, and if someone starts talking to you in a video game, it's not as hard to... You can text chat back, and when you start getting comfortable with someone, you might get invited to a Discord server, TeamSpeak, Skype. Like, that could be fantastic for someone's mental health. But it all comes down to the money. The money. And the smaller the development team you are, the easier you are to take down or boycott. Like GTA, Rockstar, they'll never be taken down. Like, there's gonna be a small indie team somewhere that's making a game where you work in a slaughterhouse or something like that, and they'll probably get banned for that, or boycotted because, oh, we don't want our kids knowing how to kill animals, even though animals die every day. But meanwhile, Rockstar are like, oh, our GTA game, oh yeah, we just added new prostitute, but we don't care. We can just fight any lawsuit we have, or we're just making too much money for too many people that nobody will publish this article, because if they do, then they won't get our next game for free to review. Sort of thing like that. That's how it sadly is in some cases. I know the active shooter game which brought this up, I think they're a community of 2 friends, 2, 3 people. I don't know how it works. Like, it's silly. So, what are your thoughts and opinions? You can have a discussion if you want in the comments below, but I would like to clear up, this is off the top of my head, and I kind of acknowledge that I'm all for it speaking with merit. If you'd like this subject, if you like this subject, as I was doing this final bit at the end, I found a video by Clicks Philip, I forget which exact channel it is, but he describes his justification of video game violence in more clarity, so maybe you should check that out. Yeah.